I first started on the Wednesday night crew.
Monday night.
I was on the Monday crew.
Friday day crew.
I was on Thursday night.
Currently on Thursday days, that's where I started.
I started on the Tuesday day crew.
Wednesday day.
I've been on the same crew for 18 years, Thursday night crew.
Tuesday day crew.
I rode on Monday nights for quite a while.
Wednesday night.
I was on the Tuesday night crew.
I started on Tuesday night crew.
I joined the Thursday night crew.
Started on Friday nights.
I started on Tuesday.
I started on Wednesday nights.
Friday night crew.
I was on Thursday nights.
I was on the Sunday night crew.
Been on Monday nights the whole time.
I joined the Tuesday night crew.
I started on Wednesday night.
Friday nights.
I started on the Thursday day crew.
Monday day crew.
Thursday nights.
I first started on Mondays.
I started on Tuesday.
Sunday day crew.
And I remember I think the first night I showed up here, and Alice Nichols in her own motherly comment said, "Don't wear blue jeans. We have to look professional."
I joined the squad, I guess about 9 years ago, because my best friend was on the squad and his father was on the squad, and just seemed like an interesting thing to do, and haven't regretted it since.
Some of the very early enthusiasts that thought someone ought to have a first aid squad came to the law firm where I was a very young lawyer in those days and asked my partners if they would incorporate the squad, and they turned to me and said, "You do it." So in the process of doing that, I also started attending the courses. The next thing I knew, I was on the squad.
I think it was Paul Vickery who got me to come over one night and said, "This is something you would enjoy doing."
I joined the squad back in 2003 as my 2003 New Year's resolution.
I joined right after 9/11. I felt I should do something for the community. I
had an older brother who was a member of the squad, and it appealed to him, and it seemed to me like it would be a good place to spend maybe 2 years, which turned into about 15.
I was always interested in medicine. I was looking for something to do, and I was just not smart enough in school to be a doctor. They didn't have as many other fields as they do today.
And the squad was outside getting its annual photograph taken, and Fred Schwartzman was in that photograph.
When I walked into the building, my age, I thought I was a little bit too old for this.
And I interviewed the Phoenix Fire Department, and I interviewed the EMS guys there. And as I was talking to them about how they did their job, I got very excited, and this was shortly after 9/11.
I needed to have a purpose.
He explained to me what the squad was, and then I happened to run into Ken Herr at a party, and Ken said to me, join the squad. It's really rewarding, and it really doesn't take up that much time. Well, the first part was completely true. The second part was a complete lie.
My family first came over from England to America. My oldest son, Richard, joined the squad, and he was enjoying it so much, so I decided I had some free time. I looked into it and I joined the squad.
And you know, when we first moved here, it was you know, not knowing a lot of people, and I think especially for my sons who were young, joining the squad was good for them because they got to know other folks around, and it was really like an extended family for them, and it's become an extended family for us.
So I said, well, I'll just rake some leaves or do some paperwork or do whatever you'd like me to do. And they said, well, we'd like you to be an EMT and ride on the ambulance. And I thought, well, that's cool. Okay, I'll do that.
It's taken up a tremendous amount of time, but has turned out to be the single most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life.
And then when I came back, I didn't realize how much I had missed it, the time that I was gone, until I came back. And then I was like, wow, I should have never left.
And you're walking through town every day, and someone might approach you. It might have been your patient one day and go, oh, hi, how you doing? You might not remember, but they remember you, and it's just a good feeling that you helped someone out that needed your help.
It's something that's been part of me all my life, more than half my life, literally. So I've been on more than 25 years now, and there's no way I should be that old.
Everything has changed. Everything. The vehicles, the training.
We had a lot of Red Cross training. We all did the Red Cross first aid course, and we contacted local doctors and asked them to come and start giving us training.
When I came on the squad, you did a course in first aid and CPR.
The 5-point system. It was CPR, it was a basic first aid, advanced first aid, and it was very small in nature.
But we had a sort of a mentality of swoop and scoop back then. We used that expression. We used to rush in, grab people, bring them up to the hospital.
I think the EMT program was really just in its infancy at that point, and they were kind of feeling their way along. But it was, at the time, it was perfectly acceptable basic first aid training, and now it's just a little bit more detailed and a little bit more comprehensive.
And there are more adjunct classes now in terms of hazardous materials, CBURN, developmental disabilities, etc.
There's a little bit more in terms of the training that you do for mass casualty type events and those kinds of things, whereas in the beginning all the training dealt with individuals either protecting yourself or dealing with other people.
Basically, the biggest thing you used to have oxygen. That was about the only thing you could do for a lot of people. Now you have the defibrillators.
You're always still learning. Even to this day, we're always learning on calls or as a leader.
You get newer and newer, fancier equipment, but at the end of the day, it's still doing the same thing. The backboard is still the backboard, and the oxygen's still the oxygen. It's just a new way of reinventing it, I would think.
And my job was to sort of transport the patient and protect the medical assistant. And I figured if I could do that, why cannot teenage youth do it? And so I presented it first to members of the squad. So they finally agreed to it. And then the next issue was for me to get a meeting in the high school because I was a Catholic priest.
Father McGovern, who was the priest at the St. Teresa's Church, came to a group of us and asked us if we wanted to do something for the community.
And that was the beginning of it. And from what I gather and understand, it has spread not only here, but to other departments and other rescue squads, which is great.
No, I just think the junior program is definitely one of the best things I ever did. It kept me out of trouble. I think it got me into college. It got me my job. It got me, career I have.
Definitely worthwhile. It's an experience which you'd never forget, and the amount of stuff you'd learn.
Kyle Dobacheski was our junior, And Kyle had joined just a few months before I did, but I was astounded at how much he knew so quickly, and he taught me a lot of what I know now.
I feel like it's helped me to interact a lot more with people my age, along with people that are older than me, especially the people in my crew. Like, I feel like I've come to know the people in my crew as a family, and like the people in the junior program, whether it's like Mike DeClessis, Mitch, or all the other juniors, they're all just great people, and I'm just really happy to be a part of like a family like that.
Well, over the years as a patrol officer and then up through the ranks as now as chief of police, it didn't really matter day, night, what time it was. When those tones went out, we knew that we would get compassionate, professional, dedicated people from the squad that would come out and administer care to the city residents. And knowing that was going to happen was always very reassuring on any type of call, whether it was a car accident or a heart attack or any other kind of medical emergency. Knowing that someone from the Summit First Aid Squad was coming, you got to kind of take a breath and just say, everything's going to be okay.
And doing it at no cost to the taxpayers. So in this time, particularly of budgetary constraints, but in all times, that's a huge kind of benefit for a community, and it's done by your neighbors.
They're getting quite a bargain. I would have to guesstimate that would be, well over $1 million for the city to provide that additional service that you folks do for free.
Very often, elderly patients who are on a fixed income are kind of afraid to call 911. They don't know what the ambulance is going to cost them. What is this going to? I don't have the money for it. And the fact we're volunteer, often we find out people are surprised. This doesn't cost anything. We're just here to help. And we brought our equipment and we brought our skills. We're just here to help you. And no, there is no cost.
You have the Summit Police Department, Summit Fire Department, and they both give great quality professional service. The Summit Volunteer First Aid Squad does the same thing, but there's a huge difference. It's volunteer.
Even if the resident has not had an occasion to make personal use of the squad services, their neighbors have.
Like an insurance policy for the city of Summit that not a lot of people know about, and hopefully you never need, but when you do need it, we're there to provide professional and courteous care, and we ask for nothing in return.
I honestly think they give the city of Summit a sense of peace and security to know that if anything ever were to happen, they're always there 24 hours a day.
We look forward to seeing them. We know that they do a good job. We trust their judgment, and we know they provide a tremendous service to the community.
When those tones go off, you have squad members that are leaving the dinner table, baseball game of their child, a family event, work, what have you, to go to the aid of someone that they probably don't even know. That's remarkable. Actually, it's priceless.
I joined the squad because it's kind of a family heritage.
My mother had been on the squad.
Two of my daughters, Eileen and Erin, were active squad members during their high school years. And I thought that was important. I didn't tell them they had to. I didn't even invite them. That was a decision that they made independently.
My eldest brother had joined the squad.
And my mother is a charter member. Yeah. She started with the squad in 1962, and I started in 1970. My wife I met on the squad. She's one of 14 marriages from the squad.
My next older brother joined the squad.
What family isn't on the squad?
After me, my sister joined the squad.
My daughter joined the First Aid Squad. She's currently a member of the First Aid Squad, Alex. And she has, like my brother, she has an interest in medicine, so she'll likely make a career out of that as my brother has.
One brother's wife joined the squad as well.
But she got me up at 6 o'clock the morning of her birthday so that she could bring her application over the day that she turned 16.
And my wife's been on the squad now for more than 10 years.
So when I married him, I don't think I had much of a choice.
So it kind of became a family business, if you will.
It's funny when we go on a call together. We do backups together a lot, and
I've slipped with Mom a couple times.
and everybody stops.
Yeah.
Firemen, paramedics, police will just stop and look at both of us and then carry on, and we chuckle.
The most significant memory for me has been the kindness and the generosity of the other squad members and the willingness to bring novices like me up to speed.
There's a lot of good that comes out of the squad. Like I said, the camaraderie, the family atmosphere.
And if you need something, you can ask, and everybody will help you. You don't need to be afraid to ask about it.
One of the biggest memories that we have is the friendships that we develop.
Today we still get together with, and have seen them get married and children grow up and all sorts of things. So it's a great group, and one that will always hold a very special place in my heart.
We were a very social group in those days. We were always having potluck dinners.
We used to, a lot of people used to get together. We'd have buns and coffee and all that in the mornings. It was a very, very likable group.
We get together every year at Christmas time. Anybody who was on the Tuesday crew, we do a dinner on the last Tuesday before Christmas.
Squad dinners in particular, great time, getting to see everyone, hang out, have a couple of drinks, and everyone gets along real well. And there's music and we dance.
And one of my fondest memories was it was St. Patrick's Day, and Tony Crow decided to surprise me, and they told me I didn't have to be here till, I think it was like 7:45. They're like, don't come, we're not going to start, the other crew is going to stay till 7:45, so don't come here. And when I got here, they had Irish music, they had the whole squad room decorated in shamrocks and everything, and it was like, and that was the first time I met Tony as well, but they went to all that trouble to make me feel at home and part of them. So it was that actually still to this day is one of my fondest memories of the first day's wedding.
The Wednesday night crew was more like a family back then. I called Alice Nichols, who was the president and our crew chief, my squad mom. She was always watching after me, and I was close with her daughter there. And then the Klesses family. I'm an unofficially adopted son there.
I think that the First Aid Squad is a great community. You get a broad spectrum of people who volunteer their time and efforts here. Wouldn't necessarily meet those folks if it wasn't for the fact that you were participating and volunteering.
Attorneys, letter carriers, housewives, the whole gambit of folks in an organization that came together for a single purpose. And they were fun, and these were people who were very dedicated to helping out their neighbors in a community in a time of needs.
But it's a very cohesive group, and everybody is very helpful. They're very kind. They're very supportive, and it's nice to know that you've got this group of people that's always at your back, no matter what happens.
Conduct themselves with a high level of professionalism. There's a desire for continuous improvement, to continue to learn, to continue to better themselves.
Who put in untold hours. For some people, it would be a full-time job. Don't ask anything for it. They do it not because they have to, because they want to.
I think just working with a lot of great people. It's not what I do, it's what they do. And I'm honored to work with them, proud to work with them, and proud to work for them. They are the ones who make this organization run on a day-to-day basis. And they put a name and a face to the squad for the city.
Once you're in it, you're kind of in it. My family kind of kids me that I think every jacket I have, including my blue blazer on a Sunday morning, has got a pair of gloves in it.
I was very proud when my daughter became a junior member here, and then become a full member once she became 18. And I'm astonished that she's just about ready to graduate after her 4th year of college, and when she's home, she is here on Friday nights.
I just really enjoy it. It's a really great place.
They're the best bunch of people that I could have ever met. That's all I could say.
I
fell on the ground. I broke my arm in a football game.
They came right over to Will the second he was injured. And the best part about the whole experience is that Will knew the two EMT people there. He had known them his entire life.
They comforted me a lot, and they just talked me through it. And they were Mr. DiMarica, I remember, and Mrs. Mahoney. They were both very calm.
They just took great care of him and loaded him right up into the ambulance. And then by the time I showed up, he was already in the ambulance ready to go to the hospital. And I hopped right in and rode along in an ambulance for the first time in my life, and hopefully the last.
I had a rapid heartbeat. I was home from work in the afternoon. I called the squad, and I really saw in action of everything they have done that my husband has talked about. And I can't tell you how comforting it was, how rewarding it was, and how important it was that they were kind and competent and nice. Brought me to the hospital, and I just felt very calm being in their presence, knowing that I was well taken care of.
After his fall, and they came in, the team came in an expedient manner. They were thoughtful, diligent, and patient in removing him from the home. And on the several occasions that I've been able to see the people from the squad, I am happy to say thank you for all that they've done for myself and my husband and family.
And I got hit from behind by somebody who wasn't watching where he was going. My lights went out. When I woke up on the street, I was lying in the street and I was completely paralyzed. The rescue squad came, and one of the men got out and they looked at me and he said, "The first thing we need to do is get a neck brace on you." And he did that. And I don't think he knew, and I certainly did not know at that time, how critical that was. It turned out that I had an advanced case of spinal stenosis, so that when I was hit and whiplashed by the injury, by the accident, my spinal cord swelled immediately, and there was no place for it to go. If he had not done what he did in exactly the right way, I would be a quadriplegic.
If they weren't there covering the football game, they would have been there in a matter of minutes to take care of him. So there's a great level of comfort there as a parent to make sure, our kids are well cared for.
That they were so professional, each and every one of them, an expanse in age, but dedicated.
It was later on that I found out how good they are.
They were there for me. I'm here because of them. I'm alive because of them.
They were very nice, sweet. I love them.
I think it's a bright future. I'm looking forward to the next 50 years here for the squad. I think that we are on top of where we need to be. We're as good as any paid agency is, if not better.